Hello, hello, ladies. Jackie Sabrin here, coming at you live in the Ultimate Woman Facebook group today, Tuesday. So excited to be talking to you about so many things, specifically about how to be magnetic. How to be magnetic. What does that really mean? And what does that look like? Also, I want to talk to you about the posts that I'm seeing in the Facebook group and just really connect with you. Hopefully some of you are coming on live. If you want to join me, post any questions you have in the comment section so that we can connect. Hope you had a fabulous Thanksgiving holiday. I certainly did. It was so nice. It was so nice to just really just take the 4 days off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and spend time with Michael and our new fur baby, Moxie, and just really connect with my friends and family here in La Jolla. And it was unbelievably gorgeous. The weather has been, I hate to even brag a little bit about it, but it's been so sunny and balmy and crisp days. And now, unfortunately, it's getting dark earlier, but we're making the most of it. And so I wanted to make this, let me just do a little housekeeping here with the video. There we go. I want to just make sure I can see the comments. So ladies, if you're coming on live, please hashtag live. And then any questions you have, please post them in the comment section. And if you watch the replay, go ahead and do the same thing. Hashtag replay. And then any questions you have about the video or what I'm going to share, please post it in the comment section, because after the video, I'm going to go back through and connect with you. If you weren't here live, then I'll connect with you during the replay. Okay, so I just wanted to start off by telling you a little story. Now, see this little bronze sculpture here in the back? That is my Erte. And I don't know if you know about Erte. Erte was the what do we want to call him? He was like the founder of the, what am I word I'm looking for? Oh, I'm just blanking. Anyways, Erte created, he was the one who started all the beautiful illustrations on the cover of Vogue, and he was the father of Art Deco. There we go. And I just fell in love with Erte and all the bronzes that they have at the Martin Lawrence Gallery, especially the one that was in Maui. And so while I was married to my first husband, years and years and years ago, we would walk by that gallery and I would see the collection of Erte bronzes, these beautiful figurines of all these goddess little statues, and I just wanted one. And specifically the one that I was in love with was the Wave. And I actually have it here, another part of my home. But the Wave is a gorgeous bronze, and it just reminded me of Maui. And we would walk by, my first husband and I would look at that, and he would say, "I'm going to get that for you." And I was just so excited about that, anticipating having the Wave and just admiring that and the beauty and just the anticipation of getting something lovely like that from my first husband. Well, that day never came, unfortunately. Sad to say. But after my divorce, I decided that I needed to go in and buy myself the Erte that I didn't receive because I was so disappointed. So I went down to the gallery. Let me get a little sip of water. I went down to the Martin Lawrence Gallery on Maui, determined, marching in there, my found independence, free at last, divorcee. And I went into the gallery to buy the Wave. And when I walked in, a really nice gentleman approached me and asked me if he could help me. And I said, "You can if you have a female working here." I wanted to work with a woman. So he said, "Hang on one moment." And so he went in the back and I waited there. I was looking around. When I turned around, out walking towards me was this creature unlike any woman I'd ever seen in my entire life. She literally looked like she was walking a foot above the ground. She glided out into the room, and she had these big blue mesmerizing eyes. I could not take my eyes off her. And she came up to me, and this, of course, magical voice came out, and she said, "Hello, how can I help you?" And I said, "Hi." And I kind of talked to her a little bit about wanting the Wave, and she started to lead me into another smaller room where they have lighting and seating, and then they bring the art in and you can see it in different lighting, etc. So she proceeded to start to talk to me about Erte and the history and the different bronzes that they had in stock and the international scene and all of this. And while she was talking, I was just completely mesmerized. I was so enamored with what she was saying and how she was saying it and watching her lips move and her eyes, and I just felt I had this wave of warmth by being around her, just kind of wash over me. I was just, all I could think about while she was talking to me about Erte, going on and on and on, was how does she do that? What was it about her that had me? I couldn't think about anything but her. She was talking, but all I could think about was how mesmerizing she was. And so I was just going, I really want this quality. So she said, do you have any questions? And I said, yes. How do you do that? And she goes, do what? And I go, how do you look like that? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, how do you have this way, the way you're talking to me and the way you're looking at me. And I just started to tear up because I was so moved by her. And she said, it's love. She said, this is what love looks like. And I was speechless. I didn't really know what to say to that. This was what love looked like? Then I had never experienced love, if that's what love looked like. And so she was embodying love. She just was love. And she was so luminous and so magnetic. And the way she spoke and everything about her, I just wanted that quality for myself so much. So I bought an Erte. And I got home with my Erte, and it was just so lovely. I bought the Wave, and I got it home, and it was so amazing. And I thought, it's just really not doing it for me. I'm going to need another one. So I went back to the gallery and talked to now one of my very best friends about the Erte collections, and I ended up actually buying 5 Ertes. 5 Ertes. So I thought, and this was a subconscious thought, that if I had all this beauty, these sculptures surrounding me in my home, that I would start to have this sense of, just feeling like I was evolved and sophisticated, and it would be beautiful. So I got all the Ertes home, and I had them all. They were like a bunch of Barbie dolls. They were so beautiful. But I didn't have that luminous, magnetic quality, and I really wanted it. So I went back to the gallery. And I spoke to Sophia, is her name. She's one of my best friends now. And I said, I want you to teach me how to have this, how to have that kind of love, that loving gaze that you have. She said, Jackie, I'll teach you. So I went on a path of self-discovery to be able to embody that type of magnetic, luminous quality that just had me, hanging on every word when I was listening to her. And it just was such a beautiful energy. And I just so wanted to embody that for myself. And so the journey begins then. And the inspiration was there. And certainly the Ertes helped. But really what I was really looking for beyond all the material things was the things that you can't put your finger on. And so that's what I would love to see all of you embody here in this group, and ladies that are on my mailing lists and on YouTube and Facebook, etc., Instagram. Because when you embody, and let's call it the Queen energy, you probably knew where I was going with that, life not only is so much easier, but it is more interesting, it's more exciting, it's more fun, it's more stable. Stability is so important to me at this time in my life, emotional stability. And when you have that kind of balance in your life, that alignment, you have that kind of personal power that I've been talking about doing when I've been doing these Facebook Lives in the last couple of weeks. And so 90% of my success in life, my success with Michael, my success in my business, my success with my children, comes from the level of emotional intelligence that I have. And I know that a lot of women and maybe you're one of them, and I certainly have invested in myself in business programs where I could see a return on my investment, and it just made sense. But what I find so interesting and so curious that women fail to see the value to invest in themselves unless they see some financial gain. Now, when 90% of my success is in the relationship I have with myself, 90% of my success in life is from my connection to myself, knowing where my blocks are, knowing the shadows that surprise me. I understand myself. I know these things. I know when they're going to come up. I know when they're going to get triggered, and I can walk with that. A lot of the times when we talk about emotional intelligence, you don't really factor in the duality. When you have, say you want, of course, you want a wonderful relationship with an amazing man, right? So you start to go after that, and then you experience some setbacks and some challenges. Or maybe you actually connect with the guy and things are going well. Now, the other side of that, the duality, is there's going to be fear of commitment. There's going to be a little self-sabotage. Your history is going to come up and insert itself. So you have to be able to hold both. You may want a high paying job, or you may want a new home, but you have to walk with the duality of what's the other side of that coin. And a lot of people fail to realize this, and not only realize it, but are able to actually hold both, because that's what it requires. That's what a very successful life requires, that you understand both sides of that, the duality, because there's duality in everything in life, and you know how to hold it. So I see women who are dating and attracting men, and then they get the men's attention, but then they can't hold it because they get uncomfortable, they get insecure, they might start to pursue the man, or they might back up in fear. And so they can't hold both sides, and so the relationship falls away. Self-sabotage, because the history, your relationship history, will always come up when you move to attract something new into your life, whether that's a job, whether that's a man, whether that's restoring balance in your personal relationships. There's always going to be the other side of it. So this creates so much success in your life when you not only understand the duality, but you can walk with it without lowering your vibration. And some of the advice that I see in this group, and I know it's well-intentioned, and I love all of you so much for that. Did you know that the average emotional age in this country is 14 years old? That means the average adult that hasn't really done very much work, or maybe they've done work, but they haven't gotten to the point where they understand their history and how it projects onto others, then you're dealing with a bunch of teenagers emotionally. You think about, you go in dating, and if a man has not done that work or isn't aware of the things that have pained him, you're going to be dealing with his inner child. I remember when I was married in my first marriage, we had lived on one side of the island, and we had rented a house on the other side of the island, closer to my children's school. We didn't want the commute. We wanted to be on the other side of the island, so we rented a beautiful home, and we're so excited to move there. Now, we moved over, and I was there more because I was unpacking and getting things ready. And what we didn't know was the house had mold. It was a gorgeous home, but mold, you don't see it. But I noticed that my palms were itchy, and I was like, and my eyebrows were itchy. It's just the strangest thing. And so I was just like, what is this? This is so strange. And somebody, there in Maui, it's very rainy and wet on the other part of the island. And so what I didn't know was mold. There are so many different types of mold, and I didn't really know I was allergic to mold. So I figured out that there was a mold, because I would go out and come back in, and my palms were tingly and my eyebrows. This is the weirdest thing. So I was like, okay, this is mold. We're dealing with mold. And that particular date was New Year's Eve. And I had to go over to the house because I had my dress there, and my kids weren't there, and my first husband at the time was not there. And I was meeting him out. He was leaving the kids home with the sitter. We were meeting, at one of our favorite restaurants with like 15, 16 of our friends at the time. We're going to have a big old time for New Year's Eve. I think it was the year 2000, so it was a really big New Year's Eve celebration. And I had this gorgeous gold dress, and I was so excited. But man, I was so itchy. I was just freaking out. I was so stressed out. And I was so mad at my first husband because it was just all his fault. It was just all his fault. And I remember getting in my car, driving to Wailea to go to the Longy's beautiful restaurant where all my beautiful friends were to celebrate the year 2000. And there was my first husband decked out in his beautiful suit. And what did I do? I was like, excuse me. So I was completely upside down on my emotional intelligence. My emotions were high, so my intelligence was low. I was picking on him. I was blaming him. It was all his fault. And I certainly didn't have balance in that moment. And what did he do? He backed up. I turned him into a powerless boy. So with me doing this on him, he reverted and turned into that powerless boy. So he just backed up. And what happened with the chemistry? Gone, right? Buzzkill. Buzzkill when you start, you're man. So no emotional intelligence. We had most of the evening was blown because I was so upset. Of course, as soon as I got there, I didn't itch anymore. So it was really just the house. But I look back on times like that and not necessarily with regret, because if it didn't happen, I wouldn't have the story to tell you and wouldn't have had the motivation to learn from it. But it's that type of response to life that is not only unacceptable, but it doesn't allow us to create space and have everything we want in our life, because we alienate people. Our friends were listening to us bicker and argue, and they could feel my negative energy because I was upset and I was blaming and projecting my anger onto my then husband. Just not attractive. So even if you've done a fair amount of work in your life and you still have not been able to have a high level of emotional intelligence, while you can still walk through going after something and holding the fear, that's the level of mastery that I want to give to you, teach you to have, walk with you during the 3 months during the Activate the Queen program that's coming up on Monday. So there is just 48 hours left till the cart closes, and you still have time to get on my calendar for your Activate the Queen private call with me, where I can help you get a massive breakthrough. I mean, the holidays are coming, and I know it is historically the most difficult time if you're alone. It's the most difficult time if you're struggling in your relationship. It's the most difficult time if you've had a breakup recently, or if you've sabotaged your relationship, if you're not on good terms in your relationships, whether that's with your partner or somebody in your family. This program really is going to give you the ability to not only balance out your masculine and feminine energy, but really, really connect more deeply and more intimately and more accurately with your intuition. I find it's really interesting. I hear a lot of women talk about, oh, I'm really intuitive. And I'm like, and I look at what's happening in their life. So intuition is suspect. We can say we're really intuitive, but we can only be intuitive to the degree that we've cleared out our history, those childhood wounds that imprint on us. They act as walls or shields. So when you think about your intuition, like I have an intuitive hit, that is based purely on your history. So if you haven't cleared out all of that emotional debris from your history, you're going to be sourcing some of your wisdom and intuition from those periods, and it's not going to be as accurate as you need it to be to have, hold, do, be more, everything you want in life. It is so critical going forward in your life that you understand when you're hitting up against parts of you that you're not aware of. And those are the ones that come out and cause that that turn men into boys. And we wonder why we're attracting betas. Because our energy isn't balanced. We're pushing men away. They're resorting to the childlike behavior. Or maybe we are attracting alphas, but we end up competing with them. Or if we're perfectionists, that's all about, I have to be perfect. I have to control to feel safe. Lots to think about. Lots to uncover in the Activate the Queen program. Lots to empower you. And I am so excited about this direction for all of you, because I know that from my own experience, how much further I've gotten in life from activating my queen energy, and how much more abundance that I can create, how much more serenity I have, how much more peace I have about decisions I need to make, the people that I'm walking with, the endeavors that I'm taking on, the goals that I'm setting for myself. It's really, really, I want to say, just a game changer. It's a game changer. And I want to be able to change things for you for the better. So I'm just giving you all this final call to action, because we're starting on Monday and I don't want you to miss out. And going back to what I was saying about the post that I see in the group, I don't see any comments. So I'm thinking that I'm going to see them after the live, which really excites me. So what I was going to tell you about the comments I see in the group, and well-intentioned and all of that, and you're using your intuition. But again, depends on where that intuition is being sourced from. A lot of times we can feel that we're highly intuitive, but it's coming from a fear energy. And again, going back to that, knowing that the emotional age of people, men and women in this country, is 14 years old on average, that we're dealing with a bunch of emotional teenagers. And it's a lot of fear-based, a lot of bitterness that we haven't really come to terms with our history. We have a lot of self-sabotage, and those are the things that by taking this course is going to help you to not only stop creating those behaviors that don't serve you, but start creating behaviors, start giving yourself permission, start holding clearer boundaries so that you can expand, evolve. I mean, this is a process of a lifetime of growth. But when you commit to 3 months with Jackie, you're going to have exponential growth, and you're going to have me to answer questions, to really get in there and help you see things that you can't see, but I can. So I'm really excited to get this program off the ground. And I'm so excited about the time I've spent here in the Ultimate Woman Facebook group and watching you all post your questions and support each other. And I'm very, very grateful for all of you. Thank you for being in this group. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for sharing your life with me. I'm going to drop the link in the comment box. And if you have any questions at all, private message me. We'll hop on a quick Facebook phone call, or we can hop on a private phone call, and we can go over the details to make sure you feel safe. We're covering everything you want to see covered in this program. Okay, ladies, just know I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you soon, and I will see you on the internet. Bye.